Welcome back to the channel, guys. I appreciate y'all stopping through, man. Today we are going to be going over Punker Jeffy's new track, and this is, I'm hoping I'm not going to butcher this too bad, but it's a Bladins GP, which he said is sort of the second in the series of, you know, Egypt-based tracks. So I'm hoping it's going to be a banger. Now, if this is anything like Cairo, it's going to be good. But we already know when we got a Punker Jeffy track, one, it's going to be free. Two, the quality is going to be absolutely amazing. And three, you pretty much can guarantee it's going to be sand. But that does not take away from the fun factor at all. This track is amazing, man. It really is. The way the track rides is just so smooth and flowy. And with the sand, you know, it kind of slows you down a little bit. The only thing you got to be kind of leery of is how you're going into corners so you don't front tuck. But other than that, man, the track is just absolutely stunning. It really is. So now he did say something about the hot air balloons in the background. If they mess with your frame rate too much, you can go into the PKZ and delete the .ssc file for the animations. He also said if enough people were having that issue, that he would go in and create a version of the track without them. So if you guys are having frame rate issues and removing that .ssc file helps, make sure you let him know. That way, you know, if there is enough people, then he can drop another version without the hot air balloons. But shout out to Punker Jeffy, man, because this track is absolutely phenomenal. And the crazy part about Punker Jeffy tracks is that they're always going to be free, right? But if he were to ever decide to drop tracks on the shop, I think he would bring a lot of people over that wouldn't normally buy tracks, just for the simple fact of, you know, how good his tracks are. And I think he's kind of built like a cult following, you know what I'm saying? Which is very well deserved because all of his tracks are so good. So yeah, man, Punker Jeffy is definitely at the top of, you know, the list when it comes to track creators in MX bikes right now. And so whenever he drops a track, you know, you always got to go through and do a video on it, or at least check it out. Now, I am a couple weeks behind on this. Maybe not a couple weeks. I think it's about a week, but I'm finally getting caught up on all the tracks that have been dropped that I was missing out on. Kind of took like a small hiatus from YouTube, not terribly long, but I only posted like 10 videos in June, so yeah, we're getting back to it, but it's crazy. So I'm gonna have another video coming out soon that's another 4 or 6 free tracks, because we've actually gotten quite a bit of very good quality free tracks in the last couple of weeks. I already did one video covering 4 of them, but I found like another 6 that I want to do a video on, so I might just put them all into one video and see about doing it that way. But yeah, it's good to see people, you know, releasing free tracks again, and we have a new set of, you know, track creators that are up and coming. As you know, the older guys kind of move on or haven't been releasing tracks as much, so it's awesome that we have people like Punker Jeffy, and, you know, we got Stiz that's up and coming, and we got other couple people that are really good at it. So the future of MX bikes is still looking like it's gonna hold up. But I did watch a video by Reaper Doc, and he was talking about how the OEM team is not working on anything right now, which really sucks, man. If Beta 20 bikes are the last bikes that we get, right, it's not like insanely terrible, but the thing is, you gotta think about, like Doc said, people are like, they're not gonna have the new plastics and everything on them, so we're gonna need another group of people to come through and start working on bikes, you know. I feel like that's the only way to, otherwise bikes is gonna eventually die out, you know. The thing that's always kept bikes going, I feel like, is the fact that you have had the OEM team coming through and releasing bikes. And who knows, maybe the guys that did the factory bikes come in and step in and take that spot, you know what I'm saying? So there is a chance that the game continues on and somebody steps in and fills that role, and then there's also the chance that maybe those people, you know, are just fed up with it and they're not going to do it anymore, and nobody steps in and fills it. So we might have a period of where MX bikes is not in the greatest state, but I don't think that that's like coming too soon, you know. Usually with Paboso only dropping updates like once a year for the game, we really have, like at least another 8 months to a year before anything could start to really affect that. But who knows? Maybe somebody like Nico or the guys from MTG, maybe they step in and kind of help out on the MX bike side of things, which they probably won't because they're gonna have MTG coming out. So I don't know. It could be bad, but I'm hoping for the best. I really am. But man, I'm telling you what, man, I'm excited to drop this next track I've been working on. It is by far my favorite track that I've made in a while, and I just really enjoy the way it looks and everything. So I can't wait for you guys to see that, man. But this track is free on MXB Mods. Make sure you go pick it up. This is definitely going to be played very heavily in servers. I can guarantee you that. There's going to be a lot of races on it. And you could do a whole server with just Punky Jeffy tracks, and that thing would be filled all the time. So definitely don't miss out on grabbing this thing. I think my favorite part about this sand track in comparison with some of the other ones is that the roughness is not insanely bad. You know what I mean? For the most part, you really, as long as you got the momentum going in, you're gonna be just bouncing through it, kind of like a rhythm section, kind of like right there, and with that, it makes the track not as difficult, because normally sand tracks I struggle with really bad, especially with like tucking the front end and stuff. Now the one corner in this track where I tuck my front end really bad was an inside corner, and the sand just catches that front end, man, and you're just going down. So but Punker Jeffy, I feel like this is also his best track visually, because the textures that are on here and the way that it looks is just amazing, man. He really just knocked it out of the park all around with this. So I highly suggest everybody go pick this up, especially because, like I said, it's going to be on servers, so you're never going to not be able to find a race, especially if you just download Punker Jeffy tracks. But if you guys have not yet, man, make sure you go over, check out my TikTok. We just hit 12,000 followers on there. Check out my Instagram. If you haven't, make sure you go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And if you're new to the game or just want some people to hang out and talk to, join my Discord. Right now I think we're sitting at like 800 people roughly, but we could grow that, so we might hit 1,000 soon. I feel like the Discord kind of slowed down, but what I was waiting to announce was the first 4 people that could beat my lap time of a 152.74. DM me your GUIDs on Discord, and I will do a wallet transfer of $5 to your MX Bike Shop account. So the first 4 people, so don't miss out on that, man. And y'all have a blessed day. Stay up. Peace.